Hello, it's so good to see you. It's so good to be here. And I just want to welcome everyone to Global Heart Healing. And we're having conversations about healing. And today I get the pleasure of being here with our dear Elsa Le Torrivellec. I'm going to let her tell you that properly because it's so beautiful in her native language. I'm going to let Elsa tell you a little bit about herself and her background, whatever you want to share. Just welcome, Elsa. So delighted you are here.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here with you too. Um, about my background and myself. Yeah, so I'm French. I had many lives in this one already. I did many things. And about the healing journey, I think it properly started, I would say, 13, 14 years ago when I dived deeper into meditation. And then I moved to Mexico and I spent 12 years in Mexico, where I started to really feel consciously everything. And, you know, when you get kind of activation, then that was the path, I guess. Meeting teachers, learning different techniques, modalities, and yeah, unlocking my tools, my gifts. And now I'm back in France and the journey continues.
Mm. Oh, I can't wait for us to really get into the place where you get to just really share what's happened for you. So I'm going to just ask you, what do you feel first led you on the path to becoming a healer?
I think it was more um, the reflection I had from the other people, because my father, he had the massage book here at home. So I stole the massage book, I don't know, 20 years ago. And I started to practice like just body work, physical massage on my friends, my boyfriend at that time. And I remember I was living in Berlin and I was trading with a friend who is a singer. So she was teaching me to sing and I was giving her massage and she was like, "You really have something in your hands. You should really do this." I was like, "Well, by that time I was working in theaters and doing light engineering and complete different other things. And at the end, it's all about the light. But now I'm here and I do all the things."
Mm. Oh, I can't wait. Everybody's going to love to hear everything you have to say. So, before we get into more specifics, what do you feel like, because you just mentioned the light, what do you feel like heart healing means to you personally?
Heart healing, it really means to be connected to the heart in a way that you can hear her voice, in a way that you can let your heart lead your life and not being led by the wounds or by the trauma. When the heart magic is unlocked, you can do everything. You can do everything and you have really the full power. You are in the driving seat. And it's so joyful and fun and very much more yeah, pleasant. I mean, everything is possible when the heart is guiding. Mm.
Ah, you said exactly how I feel. Oh, I love that. I can't wait for people to hear you. And so then what are some of the key practices or rituals that you use in your healing work?
Mm. Um, lately, I do a lot of constellations. I did a training in Mexico about so kind of family constellation, but it was on the water. And we were using little figures in a little swimming pool with water, so the water as a medium to to move the energy and to do the reading. But little time after that, I moved to a place where I couldn't use the swimming pool because the building was moving all the time in Mexico City between the traffic and the earthquake. So I was like, okay, I need to find a way to do the constellation. And one day I sat in meditation. I was like, everything is energy. You don't need the swimming pool. You can just respect the protocol and the steps and open the healing field and you get the work done. And I was like, sounds a little bit too easy. So I tried a lot on myself and it was working. And I was really having amazing results and chatting with my ancestors and everybody was collaborating. So I was like, okay, we're going to do that. And lately, people are really asking for healing in their family. And I think it has also a lot to do with the changes humanity is going through. My filter is astrology. So from astrology, we have transpersonal planets. So the bigger planets that are changing signs between 2025 and 2026. So it's going to be a big shift in energy. And we are letting behind the old structures, the old ways. So it's a perfect time to do healing. It's a perfect time to really open our eyes and see, okay, this thing in my family, I don't want to pass that to my children anymore. And this is a little bit the thing that what parents don't work on, the children will have to do the work. Sometimes it pass one generation, goes to the next. But if nobody does the work, we keep repeating the same patterns until someone come and say, it's over, we're gonna change the narrative here, thank you, goodbye. So yeah,
Yes.
that's what I do. I do also
Oh,
a lot of emotion code, which is amazing because it's so fast and efficient. And yeah, that's also in this process of releasing heart walls and making people really connect to their heart. I do that like almost every week and it's really fascinating. Yeah, it's really great to
I
like it also.
I agree. I agree. The emotion code, body code, belief code. For me, there's so much magic in it's not magic, but the clarity that because your subconscious mind
Mhm.
is an archive of everything that's ever
Yeah,
happened to you your whole life. And
yeah,
literally your subconscious mind does know how to help you heal all of it. But it needs you to make the choice and take the responsibility, make the step and take the intention. And man, from there, you guys, like Elsa says,
yeah,
it's just so profound and yet simple. Uh,
yeah.
and the energy, it's so easy to move energy. We have power that we never knew, and you can
Mhm.
unlock it. It's in you too. So
Exactly.
yeah. Hey,
I always say to my clients, I'm not doing anything special because you give me access to your subconscious mind. So from starting to release trapped emotion, that's also the thing because one day I realized that I don't need the chart anymore because I'm receiving all the messages before and all the information before. So I just drop the chart. I don't use the bodycard app anymore. And I just like get all the information and release. And it's also because to me, being in a square and it's limiting. So if I don't have the chart, I'm just like really open to the field and see, okay, what are the information the person really needs to release? And it allows us to go like really deep in the ancestral tree, in all the past lives and in the future life. I found trapped emotion from the future, and it's just so fascinating because it's literally limitless when we realize, like, you believe you're just here, right now, but total infinite possibility and perspective. So yeah, it's really magical. I love it.
yeah. I love it too. I love it too. I love to hear other people having the kinds of just magic is not the word. It's energy. But energy feels like magic because we never understood how easily we could work with it.
Yeah.
And it's so empowering and so beautiful. So I really hope that people will explore. And soon we will give you ways to get in touch with Elsa. But before we go to that, can you share maybe a transformative healing experience that deeply moved you, either as a healer or as a participant?
Yeah. When I was in Mexico, I had kind of traumatic experience. I was supposed to travel, and I had a lot of money with me, and I got stolen. So the money was in the room. I left the room. When I came back, the money had disappeared. We never found out what happened, but the thing was, I was in Mexico, so I needed to make money, and I was in a touristy place. So I just like went to all the places, the shops, the restaurant, everything. Like, hey, do you need anybody? I speak Spanish, I speak English, I speak French. And I entered in a restaurant, and it was the father of the owner that was there, like, big Mexican man, and he was very, very nice and cute. And so he asked me a few questions, and he was like, yeah, okay, good, you can start tomorrow. Like, wonderful. So I took the job. And after a month and a half of carrying plates, I had tendinitis. So my roommate told me, why don't you go to see this healer? She does acupuncture, massage. She's amazing. And I went to see the woman. And before she checked my arm, I sat on the massage table, and she put her hands on my back, and she looked at me and she was like, you're not doing what you're meant to do on this planet, are you? And I was like, no, I don't think anybody is a waitress by vocation or. So she asked me what happened, what are you going to do? And I was like, honestly, I don't know. I need to make money. I took this job. I'm making good money now because there is a lot of people. And she looked at me and she was like, when we don't know what to do, we go fasting under a tree. And I looked at her and I was like, yeah. And what? And it was a Wednesday. And the first preparation sweat lodge was a Friday. And so this whole fasting process is called the vision quest. And so we were beginning of February and it was beginning of May. She looked at me, so after giving me the whole session, needles, massage, everything, she said, you know what, Friday is a sweat lodge, first preparation sweat lodge. I drive by your house to go, I pick you up, I drive you there, you do the sweat lodge, I drive you back and you decide. So she literally took my hand and she was like showing me the way. And it was the hottest sweat lodge I've ever been in. I got totally burned. But the funny thing was that in this sweat lodge, so the Vision Quest is a 4-year in a row. You fast, you drive fast 4 days, 4 years in a row. And there were people from the second year, the third year, the fourth year, and they were all like, it's not the thirst, it's not the hunger, it's really, you're going to be alone in the mountain under your tree with your own mind. And I was like, man, that sounds divine. I'm so eager to do this. I'm so tired of all the people and computer and cell phone and everything. So the people complaining were more convincing to me than anybody else. And so yeah, I did the sweat lodge. I survived. I came back. I messaged my boss. I was like, you know what? I can't come to work anymore. He said, okay, get rest, get well, get better. And I waited 3 months for the Vision Quest. And everybody was worried, like, you cannot survive 4 days, drive fasting, you're gonna die. And because it really, my heart was really feeling very happy to go to do this. And I was really thinking, okay, if it sounds so good to me doing this experience, if it's really my destiny to die under this tree after 1, 2, 3, 4 days of dry fasting, then it feels really alive. And maybe I'm going to die, and it's okay. And so I went. I didn't die. It was just the most incredible experience. We never do that. We never do that. Just going in pure nature with nothing. So you just have a tobacco prayer circle, protection, a blanket, eventually kind of plastic in case it rains, but it's beginning of May, so it's not raining. And you just pray all the time, days and nights, and to the four directions. Yeah. And when I came back, I think I was out of my body for kind of a couple of weeks. It took me to really land and say, okay, this, it was really eye-opening and totally transformative. And that's also what we say. There is no shortcuts when we really have to do deep healing. Sometimes it's going to take some time, and we have to go through very intense experiences to really integrate it. And the beauty of the Vision Quest is that every year you pray for something different. So the first year we pray for humility. The second year we pray for willpower. The third year we pray for sincerity. And the fourth and last year we pray for integrity. And this has been my map since then. And whenever I'm invited or I work with or I can do something somewhere, if it's not matching one of these four guidelines, I'm gonna step back because that's what I learned. And I sweat for that. And I almost died
Yeah,
under that tree. So I'm gonna embody integrity and sincerity and willpower and humility. But not everybody is ready to do that. Not everybody is willing to do the work also. But to me, it was the most transformative experience ever, I think. Mhm.
absolutely. And I remember when you first told me about it, I just thought it was so beautiful and so deep and so powerful. And not everybody is ready to do that. But and for you, it was such the right thing. I know a little bit about your life, and I remember when you told me that the people that were the support at the
Mhm.
bottom of the mountain were eating and drinking for
Exactly.
you.
Yeah.
It made so much sense to me
Mhm.
that that's that is how energy works. We can
Mhm.
support each other that way. But
Yeah.
we could only do that kind of thing in a very intentional and powerful, focused way.
Mhm.
And I just think it's astounding. I don't live in Mexico, so I haven't experienced that, and I'm not sure that I'm as tough as you. But the good news is I got kind of to where you are in different ways.
Mhm.
Because those four core values are absolutely, we go way back. We're dear friends, and I'm so thrilled for people to get to hear you. These conversations should be normal every day, and I'm so happy to have this one with you and let people find. You'll find your path. It's inside you. It's in your heart. So don't worry. Just start looking. Just start being open and do that. Oh, Elsa, thank you so much. So, another question, how do you integrate this is my one of my beautiful questions for specifically you. How do you integrate different cultural and spiritual traditions into your healing work?
Yeah. Oh, that's a very good question. So mostly now when I work with the energy of God and the protection of archangels, which wasn't at all in my cultural background. I was born in a totally anti-religious family, and yeah, with all the so each tradition has different name for it. At the end, it's the same: the great mystery, great spirit. To me now, it resonates more with God, and I love going to church to meditate. I walk the Camino de Santiago in north of Spain, and I was praying every day. And I think it's only because I was praying that I walked 1,000 kilometers in 6 weeks. Otherwise, my body would never had um, the focus and the support and the strength to really make it happen. So that's my starting point is from this. But for example, when I guide workshops or women's circle, when I'm presential somewhere, I work more with the four elements and the Mayan Toltec traditions, which is working with a fire, giving offerings, giving songs, offering songs, and yeah, it's a mix of everything I like, also astrology, but it's my filter, it's who I am. So of course I only share what works for me. And then people align, resonate or not, and then they go to the next person. But yeah, definitely the
Yeah,
elements. Also working with
that's
the elements. It's something we have in every tradition. Now that I'm back in Brittany, so it's a Celtic tradition, it's the same. Honoring the nature and the phases of the moon and the solstice, equinox, go to the sacred places. Everybody does the same since forever.
Yep, that's beautiful. And wherever you are, the more of that you start bringing into your whole life, the greater you'll get in touch with your deep inner generational knowledge, your ancestral, and you'll start healing ancestral things. And so, yeah, that's so beautiful. And there's so much yet to transpire because Elsa is doing really very astounding things. I'm sure we'll have to have another podcast or two where you share more and we just talk about all of it. So thank you so much. So now I want to ask you a little bit about what role community plays in the healing process.
That's a very tricky one because community is one of the four pillars of healing necessary with having a healthy lifestyle. And at the beginning, that was also the thing for me being a foreigner in another country. I really wanted to be part of a community. And there, everybody is like, yeah, brothers and sisters. And it's all like, oh, that's a family. That's wonderful. But I don't know if it's like this in every community or healing place. It works only if you belong there, if you take part in the activity. When you extract yourself from this because people are not walking their talk, then you also lose the brothers and the sisters in the community. So it's really interesting to observe. And now, honestly, I feel more like I'm a solo wolf and I do my stuff and I'm a free electron and I can go wherever I want and do whatever I want. And if it resonates, even if it's just for 30 minutes, it was wonderful to share and I'm so happy. But I don't need to commit. I don't need to gather thousands of people in my community. I'm happy with whoever is here and now. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. For me, my community has become much more global and online, but it's really about the person that is put in front of you, that the universe, that your energy attracts and they attract to you. For me, that's where that authentic, integral, intentional connection is. And to me, that's community. So very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Okay. What advice then would you give someone who feels disconnected from their heart or maybe from love in their life?
I would just recommend to start with simple thing. What works really good is talking to yourself in the mirror. Looking to yourself in the eyes and just as if you're talking to your best friend and the most supportive being or the person you love, And yeah, being very supportive and encouraging and telling everything you're proud about, everything you love, everything you want to do. And yeah, the mirror work, I really love the mirror work. And also, but this depends how the person is spending time in nature and in silence, because that's when we can be more in the body, quiet the mind, and nature reflects also everything. And it's a funny thing because we can say, oh my God, it's so chaotic, but it's the perfection in chaos. Gratitude, going back to gratitude, first thing in the morning. That's something I really integrated in Mexico because in each family there is someone missing, either disappeared, either on the other side of the border. And the sense of being alive, you cannot take it for granted because everything can happen in a minute. So first thing to me is just being grateful that I'm alive today. I can breathe, I can walk, I can talk, I can hear. I have all my full senses on. I can do everything. And yeah, don't take it for granted because you never know how long it's gonna last.
It's
Hmm.
true. That's very true.
Yeah.
And just the gratitude right there, right
Mhm.
there. Just
Yeah.
in connecting with yourself, loving your heart, thanking your heart for keeping you alive and guiding you. Um, all of that. Just, whoa, okay. So thank you. And one more question before we get into how people can connect with you. How has your own personal healing evolved over the years?
My own personal healing? You mean what I do now for myself? Or
Mhm.
hmm. Um it has evolved in a way that I'm very much more selective to where I put my energy and where I choose to trust and share and be. Because before, back in the days, I was not at all selective. And now when I think, I'm like, let's go all this energy back first and see where are we going. So now in my healing process, I'm praying a lot. I'm talking to people who support me as well. It's so to come back to the community feeling. To me, it's more having a cosmic family. You know, having a few people around that I know I can trust 100%, eyes closed. That if I really need to say something or have an external feedback, I can message anytime and say, hey, this is happening. Am I crazy? What do you think? And then next day or, when they give feedback and I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. Also, if
No.
just having someone to talk, like even going to a therapist once in a while is useful. I went to see an astrologer, I think it was yesterday, and so she doesn't know me, but just through my chart, she was able to point, okay, so do this, you're going in this direction, ta 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 ta. And all this to me, it gives, because I can do it on my own, but sometimes it's also nice to just be in the sitting place and say, okay, I oversaw totally the whole situation. Could you please give me your point of view? Thank you. And just, yeah, with simple humility, like we all work in progress. I still have a lot of stuff to release from me, from my lineage, from my past life, from my future. I am planets are still and will forever move around, energy will shift, and there will be challenges and there will be beauty, and it's okay. It's
Yeah,
all part of it.
absolutely. I know recently you told me something, and I felt it was so true, and we've gotten to know each other pretty well over the last 5 years, and it's been just such a lovely unfolding, and I'm honored to have you in my life and in Global Heart Healing as one of our founding practitioners. And I just want to say that I think that when you mentioned that you really have a focus of unconditional love
Mm-hmm.
for yourself and for others.
Yeah.
And it, to me, that brings such a depth and such a balance when we start to understand that everything that we're all going through is exactly what we should be going through. And it couldn't be different.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can just love and accept people where they are, let them be where they are.
Yeah.
And I love the part where you're talking about being selective, because you don't you can set boundaries. You don't have to
Mhm.
subject yourself to
Absolutely.
chaotic energy. It's not going to help them, and it's definitely not going to help you.
Mhm.
So you can find the places that you are called, that you are supposed to help, um, and selectively know that sometimes you're not called there. You're not
Mm.
called there, and it's okay.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's very good. So I just, oh, Elsa, this is just, you know how much I just adore you. I just love you. I'm honored. We're delighted. This has been a great time, and I can't wait for people to hear you. And last of all, would you please give people a way to connect with you, if they would like to?
Yes, I think so you can message me. Um, I get a new phone number, so I'm gonna update my page as soon as we finish this conversation. And it arrived today, the number that and yeah, you can message me, WhatsApp, Signal, Telegram. I also have a Facebook page, Instagram with my name, Elsa Le Torrivellec. I also have this Calendly thing. My
And you have a
website is,
website, right?
yeah, I have a website in Spanish, Elma Terapias. So with the whole everything, bio programs, offers, everything is there. At some point, I might make it in English and French.
And
If
she's
it
also on the globalhearthealing.com website. You can find all of her connections there as well, but you will see them below the podcast. Oh, Elsa, this has been lovely. Do you have any final last words you'd like to share? And thank you so much for being here.
yes. One thing I didn't mention is the power of intention, which I'm actively using lately since 4 years and a half now that I run Power of Intention groups in Spanish, and we really have miracles happening every week. From simple, like, oh, I have back pain, can I have an intention? Yes. Or, oh, my mother-in-law has COVID, can we do an intention? Or, I need to make money, can we do an intention that I found a job? Anything is possible. So what it brought me really, really is a consciousness that what we think manifests. What we talk manifests. So it really it's a practice to make it in alignment. Like, what is the dream of the heart? What does my heart want me to know today? Connecting with the mind. How can I speak it and make it happen in really? And sometimes also just doing the intention in the group. We're gonna do a group in English also soon with Joyce, and really sometimes getting out of your own way, because that was a thing with me, with a connection with God. Sometimes I had issues and I was like, I tried everything, nothing is working, I don't know how I'm going to solve this problem. And I remember 2 years ago I passed by a church in the village where I was living. I was like, can you please take care? I just like, and next week it was solved by a magical thing, and just messaged my friend like, oh, by the way, she's like, oh yeah, it's so. I'm like, amazing. Thank you so much. So it's really this like sending an intention and trusting that it's gonna happen. It might take days, weeks, months, but it's just a perfect divine timing that we get ready to really receive what we asked for.
Yeah.
Because one thing is wishing, and the other thing is when it's coming, it's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what am I going to do with all this now? And panicking. And we
Yes.
cannot
Yes.
fake the frequency we send to the universe. We cannot fake frequency. So just staying in alignment and maintaining this high frequency of love, gratitude, and yeah, that's a
Yeah.
practice.
Yes, it is. It is. Ask, believe, receive,
Mm-hmm.
and put on that cloak of belief and just live in that vibration as if it has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that, when you can do that, then that kind of brings you back to stop the negative words, the negative self-talk, the disbelief. You start to understand
Mm-hmm.
those are going out too. So you need to pull them in and take care of them and do the intentional focus to be straight in where you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yeah,
it comes and it
just,
manifests.
yeah, just trust that it's happening, that we are
Trust.
co-creators of every experience we live, even the difficult one, but it's everything brings so much medicine. It's like everything is teachings, learnings, when integrated, when we have the space to heal. And yeah, I'm so happy I'm embodied in this timing right now. It's so exciting
Yes,
what is
isn't it?
coming. Yeah.
It is. It's such a beautiful time to be alive. While it is also a difficult time to watch all the transitions, it's a amazing time. And if you're alive on this planet right now, it is not a mistake.
Yeah.
There is power in you being you right here, right now.
Mhm.
Oh gosh, thank you so much, Elsa. Mwah. I love you. This
You're
was
welcome.
magical, beautiful,
Mhm.
and deep. And I look forward to doing more.
Thank you
And
so much.
by the way, the power of intention that she mentioned is going to be through Global Heart Healing. So please be watching.
Yeah.
Mwah.
Thank
Yay.
you.
Thank you so much, Elsa. I appreciate and adore you.
Thank you so much, Joy. I love you.